I was at Dollar Tree a few weeks ago when I wanted some just plain penny noodles. So I ended up picking up a package of these Barilla noodles, penne, just for pasta salads or whatever. What I did not notice is that they are one pan, no um, strainer. I can't read backwards. Uh, so I guess you just make them all at once in the electric frying pan, and it's kind of like those lasagna noodles that you put in those lasagna, and they cook that way. So I'm gonna make, I'm gonna give them a try tonight. I'm gonna make chicken spaghetti with these. I have 4 chicken thighs that I've already cooked and shredded, and a container of pasta sauce, garlic and herbs, and I have some frozen mozzarella cheese, which I'm gonna defrost and put on the top at the end, and we'll see how it all comes out. All right, the directions say 1 package of the pasta and 3 cups of cold water in your non-stick pan. Make sure the water covers the pasta. So let's do that right now. Here's the pasta mix. And by the way, it's 12 ounces net weight. And here's the 3 cups of cold water. And I'm just going to give that kind of a quick stir to make sure all the pasta is evenly distributed and covered by the water. And I presume that I have to cover this also. Let me double check. No, it says cook on high for 10 minutes, stirring frequently until water is absorbed by the pasta. So I guess we cook it open like that. I'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, the noodles took about another cup of water. I added them in half cup increments, and just kept moving the noodles around and cooking them until they were cooked through, and now they are at the texture and softness that I like here. Of course, it's going to depend on what you like and your frying pan, and I guess a bunch of different variables, but they did come out great. And I'm going to go ahead now and take these out of the pan and put the chicken in, add some spaghetti sauce, and just see where we get with that. I added about a tablespoon of butter to the skillet after I took the noodles out, because I think butter is one of those secret ingredients that makes restaurant pasta taste so good. So I've got my chicken thighs, my shredded chicken thighs cooked, and I'm just going to pop them in there. It's going to be a little harder than popping. They've been in the refrigerator. So let's get them out and warmed up, and I'm going to add the, goodness, they are committed to that container. I'm going to add the pasta sauce as soon as these are separated and warmed up. All right, now that the chicken is all warmed up, I'm going to slowly add the pasta sauce. I don't want to over sauce this. Again, that's a matter of personal preference. We'll see what this looks like with about half a can. Eddie's not a heavy sauce eater. That looks about right. All right, I'm going to grab our noodles and put them in and see how this all comes out. I still might need to add a little bit more sauce now that I think about it, but this is all a big experiment. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm going to put these in kind of scoop by scoop and see how it looks. Eddie does like a lot of meat, and if you want to stretch this, of course, add more noodles. It's pretty flexible. There we go. Yeah, a little bit more noodles. And I'll add a little bit more sauce. I like to do these as I go. It's so hard to tell. They tell you just dump this in and dump that in, and the fact of the matter is it really depends on your personal taste and a lot of other stuff. So I tend to just take things slow. As I always say, you can add more in. You can't always take it out. I think that's about enough. I have this much noodles left, so I used probably about half the noodles in the box. The rest I'll use for pasta salad or something else. It won't go to waste. All right, I'm going to mix this. It does need a little bit more tomato sauce. I'm going to pour that in. More spaghetti-ish. All right. Maybe one more. A bit of sauce. We're good. Eddie's not a big sauce fan. So, all right. Now, you could serve this like this straight out of the pan. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm kind of weighing if I should put it in a casserole dish or leave it like this. I don't know. It depends if I can find a casserole dish. They're all at Eddie's house. So I will be back with my final conclusion. Well, I ended up casseroling it. I found one more casserole dish. I'm going to put it in the oven to kind of brown and melt the top. So first layer is Velveeta. This is a Velveeta house. Eddie loves his Velveeta. And I'm going to follow it with some mozzarella, and then I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese on top. And by the way, I did end up finishing the entire container of, I guess, 24 ounces. It just seemed to be the best to do it that way. All right, I put about 3/4 of a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese on top. I had it in the freezer and it was time for it to go. That's on top of the Velveeta. And now I'm going to sprinkle some of this 3-cheese blend. It's Parmesan Romano and Asiago. I got the chicken and the Velveeta cheese, the mozzarella cheese, and this 3-cheese blend all at Grocery Outlet, and the noodles and the pasta sauce at Dollar Tree. So we're not looking at a huge expense here. So I'm just going to do kind of a little chunked up. So I'm just going to sprinkle some on top. I'm putting it at 425 to get the cheese to melt, and I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. Here we are, straight out of the oven. I let it kind of brown on top. It's a nice crust of cheese on it. I'm going to let it cool, and when Eddie gets back from motorcycling, I'm going to serve it up and see what he says. Just brought Eddie the casserole, and he has his toast with it, so why don't you give it a try and let me know what you think.
It looks cheesy.
It's very cheesy.
Cheese is good.
Cheese is good.
And everything tastes better with
Toast.
bread around it.
I know. What do you think, babe?
2 fast Eddies and a thumbs up.
All right. It's been several hours since I served the casserole to Eddie, and he is still talking about it. He loved it. He was nervous about spaghetti with chicken because he's always had it with beef, but he just thought it was fantastic. And it was really, really inexpensive. I mean, $1's worth of noodles from the Dollar Tree, probably less than $1's worth because I didn't use all the noodles, but let's say $1. $1's worth of pasta sauce. I ended up using that entire 24-ounce can. Probably, I say $2 worth of chicken thighs from Grocery Outlet. So we're at like $4 now, and probably $2 worth of cheese for the topping between the sliced Velveeta and the mozzarella and the Parmesan. So we're looking at maybe $6. It was really hearty. It was actually heavy when I took it out of the oven. And it was very, very good. So you could easily feed 4 people with that. You know, you might want to put it in like a lasagna pan or something maybe wider and longer. Mine was kind of more deep because that's all I had left of my casserole dishes, and now I have no casserole dishes because he took this one with him to his house too, the graveyard of the casserole dishes. I'm going to have to go there and I guess clean house. Not literally. He does that. I'm just going to take my casserole dishes. So anyway, that was a $6 meal. Delicious, easy, and very filling. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and thank you for watching.